Do you like water? Maybe you even like swimming in water. If that's the case, then watch the rest of this video. Now I want to take a minute and talk about college swimming. It's a sport that a lot of people, when you think about it, you only think of the top schools like your Floridas, your Michigans, your Georgias, your, big state schools. There are a lot of opportunities out there that most kids have no idea about. There are 133 men's and 195 women's teams in Division 1, and many of them are schools that you probably had no idea had a swim team or even existed in the first place. These are places that could potentially give you and people you know an opportunity to not only be a D1 athlete, but to also get your tuition paid for. However, I want to shine a light on the fact that these opportunities are dwindling. And they're dwindling because of two things: low fan interest and low marketability. And because swimming has low fan interest and low marketability, this results in our sport being one of the first to be on the chopping block when universities look to cut sports. And that's exactly what's happened. Since just the year 2000 alone, these are the Power 5 programs that have been cut. Washington, Clemson, Oregon State, Michigan State, Syracuse, Maryland, Kansas, Iowa, Iowa State, Nebraska, Miami, Rutgers, and Arizona State, who, if you don't know, was cut in 2008, reinstated, and just won their first national championship in swimming. That's a lot of programs that once had teams and now don't, and that's just since the year 2000. There have been plenty more. Any Power 5 school that you can think of had a swim team at one point. Now you might be asking yourself, what do we do about that? Schools don't care about swimming. It doesn't have a large audience. Well, you're about to hear from one of the smartest minds in the sport. I've asked him some questions about what we should do, and I think he gives some excellent answers worth listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, a former Arizona State swimmer, the first ever swimfluencer, and self-proclaimed CEO of swimming Twitter, Kyle Sockwell.
All right, Alex. So number one, what can we learn from the recent explosion in popularity of women's basketball? And how can we apply that to growing collegiate swimming? It's a great question. It's one that I whiteboard plenty of times. I actually don't just boil it down to women's college basketball, but I actually take a lot of input and do a lot of analysis on women's collegiate volleyball as well, because I think both of those sports have done something incredible in the last couple of years that really just required, and it required more than just this, but it did require dreaming big and allowing ourselves to think that more and bigger is possible. In swimming, we kind of put ourselves into a box and don't allow ourselves to think and dream big and make large changes that could ruffle some feathers. I think the number one low-hanging fruit in swimming, collegiate swimming specifically, is ruffle feathers. Shuffle things up and give the media, athletes, fans, everybody something to be excited about, even if it fails. And number two, how can schools who currently have teams make an intelligent investment into their programs that would grow the sport and brand as a whole? This is a great question, and this is like one of the number one things that I consistently think about day to day when I'm talking to anyone or myself. I talk to myself from time to time about college swimming. If you have a budget, I really think the lowest hanging fruit, we're going to say that for both of these questions, is caps. It has to be caps, all right? These are the most slept on marketing tool in swimming right now, and it's a cool way to get everybody excited, right? It's difficult to sell caps right now to the general public, but the only reason for that is because we haven't created the demand. If athletic departments see swim caps and swimming gear as a potential revenue driver for not only swimming, but for the athletic department, all of a sudden gears start to turn. And if we get those gears turning in one avenue or in one niche or in one vertical, we can get gears turning in another one and another one. Swimming really just needs a catalyst. And to tie these two questions together, I think caps can be a catalyst for really hyper engaging the fans of the sport into then creating the momentum that has student athletes from other sports and students at schools and just fans in general of a school or a team or whatever looking over and going, what's going on over there? I want to see what that's all about. And then once that starts to roll, it's our job at a dual meet or whatever it is that these people are attending to convince them that swimming is as exciting as we think it is. I think we have a long way to go in terms of looking at swimming as an entertainment sport or an entertainment product, as opposed to just a thing that we do and a thing that we just have to do throughout the season. So I'm referring to dual meets. I think we got a long way to go. I think we're making steps for the first time in a long time in progressing towards making this something entertaining for fans. I'm excited about it, and asking questions like this are exactly why we are moving in the right direction.
Thank you so much to Kyle for answering those questions. He's tagged on this video, so be sure to check out his social medias. He's got a YouTube channel, a great Instagram account, so check him out. When he talks about dreaming big and not being afraid to ruffle some feathers, I would say that applies to every aspect of our sport, including people like you out there who may not think they want to swim in college. There's a whole world of competition out there and experiences that you will carry for the rest of your life. Take it from me, who is swimming in college currently and plans to do it in the future. Not to mention getting help with your tuition, because as you will soon surely find out if you don't already know, college is expensive. And I encourage all of you to do some research on schools in your area that offer swimming and check out their Instagram accounts, because you guys, all of you, are the ones who can change this sport for the better. If all of you out there act as the catalyst for creating buzz around swimming, and if we all prove that swimming is a marketable form of entertainment, the schools will notice. They chase money. Just look at what they've done with football and where the NCAA is going in that regard. They will notice, and in 10 years, we may just be looking at some of these major schools reinstating their swim teams. Now, kind of a sidebar, but just imagine the absolute art that a school like the University of Oregon would put on a swim cap. Have you seen their football uniforms? Seriously. I would buy their entire stock, but that's besides the point. That's all I've got for now. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more from me.